Hello, everybody. This is my third time trying to start this video. I keep messing it up. My headphones keep messing up. So that's the mood I'm going into this movie with. What's going on? Welcome to my Star Wars commentary. When I said I was making Star Wars videos, I wasn't joking. That was not a bit. I am making only Star Wars videos now. I don't know how long I'll be making Star Wars videos. Probably just until I get bored of it, which could be very soon. But not too soon, because here's kind of my plan, is I'm going to watch all the Star Wars movies, and I'm going to do this kind of commentary track over it. So there's no video. You play this on your phone speaker or your laptop speaker, or I don't know, some other fancy way. I don't know how you want to do it. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But basically, the way that this would work is you will press play on the video, and you'll be listening to me right now. And while you're listening to me now, you queue up your copy of Star Wars Episode 4 on Disney Plus. It's got to be the Disney Plus one, unless maybe there's some 4K disc release that's the exact same version that I don't know about. But I'm watching it on Disney Plus, which has the Maclunkey scene added, which changes the runtime just a little bit, so that if you're watching an older version of Star Wars, you will not be in sync with this commentary track. Which sucks, but that's how Star Wars is, I guess. So you do have to be watching the Maclunkey cut on Disney Plus. Or if they have a 4K release of it that is the same cut, that will also work. So, anyway, that's kind of how this video is going to work. I'm going to just watch Star Wars Episode 4 on Disney Plus. Going to give my thoughts live, because I have a lot of thoughts about the Star Wars movies, and the only way that I'm ever going to get to them is if I watch the movies, and I just give my thoughts, just kind of stream of consciousness, while I'm watching Star Wars. So I'm going to do this with all 11 movies. That's right, I'm even doing the 2 spin-off ones. I will not be doing this to a TV show, because I don't want to do commentary for, 25 episodes of The Mandalorian, or however many episodes there are. I'm not up to date. And I especially don't want to do commentary for 7 seasons of Clone Wars. That's just a lot. And I don't mind watching the show, but doing commentary for that many episodes, no way. Not happening. But I can do it for 11 movies. So I'm going to. So, yeah. Basically, I'm going to count down, and then when I say play, you're going to press play, and I'm going to press play, and then we'll be syncing up. Obviously, there's not going to be video or audio of Star Wars on here. You're only going to hear my voice, and you're not going to see anything. Because if I upload Star Wars on YouTube, Disney will take me down. Yeah, you can't do that. So, anyway, I had one more thing I was going to say. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. I have not watched this movie in a long time. I don't know how long exactly. It's been at least 2 years. But it might have been not since 2019. Because this was one of the first movies I watched when Disney Plus came out in 2019. And then I don't think I've watched any Star Wars since Rise of Skywalker came out. I don't think. I might have watched, some of the movies. I know I watched some of the TV shows after Rise of Skywalker, but I think for the most part I haven't watched a Star Wars movie since 2019, which as of right now is 4 years ago, which is pretty crazy. Although I think, if I'm remembering right, the movie came out in December, so it's not really 4 years yet, but still a long time. Also, I'm not editing this. Obviously, it has to line up with the movie exactly, and so if I cut anything out of this, it's not going to line up properly. So yeah. Okay. Alright, let me just open up my other tab here with Disney Plus. Alright. I am getting ready to press play, so get your remotes ready. I hope that you paused it at 000 or haven't even pressed play yet. If you are watching on Disney Plus and you are just going to go press play, there could be some loading there, and that could cause a slight delay, but I don't know how bad it would be. Alright, so let's get started. Star Wars, A New Hope, Episode 4. I prefer to just call it Star Wars. Starting in 3, 2, 1, Play. 20th Century Fox logo. I think that's fun that this movie has the Fox logo because it is Disney, but then Disney bought Fox, so it doesn't matter. Just gonna double check that my mic is okay, and it is. All right, perfect. Star Wars. It's iconic. Oh, I think I'm gonna read this out loud. I don't usually read these out loud. Episode 4. Should I read it like the Clone Wars guy? A New Hope. That's not quite it. I haven't watched Clone Wars in a while. What does he sound like? It is a period of civil war. Rebel spaceships striking from a hidden base have won their first victory against the evil Galactic Empire. That's kind of it, I think. During the battle, Rebel spies managed to steal secret plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star, an armored space station with enough power to destroy an entire planet. No, I've lost it. That's not what the Clone Wars guy sounds like. Pursued by the Empire's sinister agents, Princess Leia races home aboard her starship, custodian of the stolen plans that can save her people and restore freedom to the galaxy. I think I almost got it there with that last one. I haven't watched Clone Wars in a while. It's been since Season 7 came out, so a few years ago. I don't have much to say on this part. There's not much happening. It just is flying away from the screen. I guess maybe I could talk about my first time watching Star Wars. I was a little kid. I was 4 years old, I think. And I used to watch Star Trek The Next Generation when I was 4 years old. I guess I thought it was fun. I don't know. But one day my dad says, "You should watch Star Wars, Isaac. I think you'd like it." So he turns on this movie. And one scene coming up, and I'll tell you what it is when we get there. It made me, for some reason, I couldn't stop thinking about that scene. I just kept remembering that scene. This is so cool. I have a toy of that Star Destroyer. I love that C-3PO is accompanied by this other silver droid that is never seen again. I think that's so fun. Can you, can we just give some credit to George over here for, starting this movie? This movie that is insane by the standards, the year it came out. He starts it with two characters that don't even have traditional faces. Neither of them even really have a mouth. They're just robots. Uh-oh. Here he comes. I love the sets for this movie. I'm gonna burp, sorry. Could you hear that? I hope not. Oh, he got shot. I love watching the way that these little bit part actors react to getting shot. I think it's fun. I guess it's not fun. I mean, they're getting shot, but whatever. Did you see the way he stepped around that guy? Oh, he's dead. I like to imagine that R2 just does not care what's going on. He's like, yeah, I've seen crazier stuff than this. And it's probably because C-3PO keeps getting, mind wiped, his memory erased. Here he comes. When I was a kid, and this is not an exaggeration, I used to be so afraid of Darth Vader. It was Darth Vader and Heath Ledger's Joker. Anything with a picture of those two on it, I would not go near it. I would not go near it. I had an action figure of Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight. Scared me so much. I was too afraid to have one of Darth Vader. He scared me. Darth Vader was so scary to me as a kid. I don't know why. The Spice Mines of Kessel. Crazy of George to put that line in there. It's this whole movie is crazy. I can't believe George made this movie. I can't believe they let him make this movie. Like, this got released and was a hit. That's so crazy. Think of how weird this movie is. A diplomatic mission. Oops. Killed him. Yeah, he used to be so scary. Stormtroopers, I've never been afraid of stormtroopers. I guess I always thought they were just whatever. Also, nothing will stop me from constantly talking about John Williams' score for all 9 of these movies. Oh, this is the scene. Okay, this is the scene that I watched this movie and like I saw that scene and I don't know why it stuck with me so much. I remember the next day coming home from school, or maybe I didn't go to school, maybe I was too young, I don't remember. But either way, I remember talking to my dad and being like, "Can we watch Star Wars?" And he was like, "Well, which one?" And I was like, the one with Princess Leia in it, where she shoots the guy." And he's like, "Well, she's in like a lot of them." And eventually we figured out which one I was talking about was this one. But the scene that I used to describe this movie was the scene where Princess Leia shoots that guy. I thought it was so rad. And to be honest, it is pretty rad. I think it was also something that I remember distinctly sticking with me was the visual of the blue laser, the like circle beam, the stun beam or whatever that doesn't hurt or that doesn't kill. I remember the stormtroopers using that, and I was like, "What? What's happening? This little Princess Leia just shot a stormtrooper? It's just crazy." I love how much she changes her performance between this scene and the scenes later with Han and Luke. I think it's definitely in character, but I think it's just very fun. I love the fingerprints on like Darth's armor. He's always wearing gloves, but like anything that black and glossy is gonna get fingerprints on it. One thing I love about Star Wars is they have planets where like the whole planet is one thing. Like Earth, the planet that we all live on, presumably, has many things. It has jungles and deserts and cities and like oceans. But in Star Wars, there's the desert planet. The whole thing is a desert. There's the city planet. The whole thing is a city. There's the water planet. The whole thing is made of water. Like all of the planets have one gimmick, and I think it's great. I love that this whole thing is just a desert. Like, think about how depressing that's got to be for the people on Tatooine. Like, it's just a desert. They literally have to farm moisture. Love his little kick. The costume on C-3PO is really restrictive, but it makes him look like a robot in the way that he moves. It's very good. This is nuts. Just that this movie exists. I'm not... Because, like, this came out in 77, and movies were not what they are today, you know? This movie would not get made in 1977. I don't know how he did it. It's such a weird, like, space movie where a silver robot who doesn't even, like, have a face is, like... He's, like, flies out of a spaceship and lands in the desert, and there's a big old dragon skeleton. Like, what? Every single frame has got something crazy in it. Little does he know. Uh-oh. Something that's crazy about this movie that I'm only noticing for the first time now is how good the editing is. Like, it's just really, like, what are the words I'm thinking of? It's really coming together, like, the flow of information, that's what it was, is great. Like, and the choice of shots he's using and the way he ties them all together, really, really good editing. Lots of, I mean, just this, like, the cross-cutting between R2 and the Jawas. And you're never lost. I mean, it makes perfect sense. You know where everybody is. Actual suspense is being built, even though I'm doing a commentary where I'm supposed to talk. I love the shot of R2-D2 falling over. I think about it all the time. Oh, he just said Utini, guys. It's the Jawa thing. You know the Jawa thing. He said Utini. That's how Jawas are. Love these little guys. It takes so many of them to move him. They sound like minions. They have the same voice as the minions. Oh. Can you imagine a Minions Star Wars thing like they did with like Phineas and Ferb? I guess everyone was doing Star Wars for a while. They had the Family Guy and Angry Birds did Star Wars. Everybody did Star Wars. Minions, they're next. Minions Star Wars movie. I'm calling it right now. Star Wars Visions, season 3. They're gonna have one that's by Illumination. The Minions are gonna be in it. I'm calling it right now. They already got Ghibli to do it, so like Illumination, they're next. Oh, up he goes. That's a cool robot. There are a lot of cool robots. Oh, the Gonk Droid! Woo! Gonk Droid! That robot's cool. That robot reminds me of the binoculars from Toy Story. Gonk. He really did just say Gonk. That's a cool robot. Why does it have a face like that? Who made the robot to have a face like that? Sorry, I'm not talking very much. It's just a very good movie. Oh, ugh, CGI dewback. I don't like that. I don't like that they put the dewback in there. I think that's CGI. It looks definitely like CGI. I feel like they had something in the background of the original shot, but it was not that. Were there dewbacks there originally, but they were practical? Or maybe those are practical and I'm an idiot. Oh, I love how he pops up here. Is he just crawling around on the ground? That's so funny to imagine that. Because R2D2 cannot talk, I always imagine him as the chillest person in the room. He's like just going with the flow, you know. He doesn't care. He's like, "Are they going to melt us?" I don't know. Probably like, get over it. Calm down. If R2D2 could talk, C3PO and R2D2 would have a just a classic comedy duo. They already are a classic comedy duo. I think it's almost funnier to just imagine what R2 is saying. Did they just pull up outside someone's house? Like, did they just do that? It was just like, oh, found our next customer. Let's pull up outside this guy's house. That's a tall Jawa. Oh, it's outside Luke's house. That makes sense. For some reason, I thought they walked a long time to get to Luke's house. Bocce. Why do they need to speak bocce? He's like, shutting up, sir. I love C3PO. He's so good. Ah, get over it, Luke. What does he need? I was gonna go to the Tashi station to pick up some power converters. George really was never good at dialogue. I feel like I'm ragging on this movie. I like this a lot. I genuinely do like all of these things that I'm saying I like. I like the awful dialogue is really charming, I think. It's not all bad. C3PO's got some good one-liners. Oh, there he goes. R2? Everyone knows that's R5D4. Why is he like a salesman? He's like selling himself. He like doesn't even like care. He's like, oh no, we're being sold. Why, of course I can speak Bocce. It's like a second language to me. Oil bath. When would harvest season even be for moisture on a desert planet? That's a quick oil bath. You don't know the half of it, C3PO. Wiping off his thigh. That's funny. Uh oh, Luke, no. Eccentric. I love that Obi-Wan did not change his last name. Such like a crazy power move. Old Ben has some like he's crazy. He's amazing. He's great. Mm. For my disguise, I've changed to Old Ben. Obi-Wan? Never heard of him. The sparks came out. I should totally be talking over this. I'm sorry, guys. I got sucked into just watching the movie. So this is uh we're at the point now where there's not a lot to talk about in this movie because a lot of the things that I have to say about this movie come from the changes that were made, and I don't think all the changes are bad necessarily. The only thing that I really think is bad is that we can't even watch the old one like at all. I love that they call him a wizard. I love that Owen Lars knows full well what a Jedi is, and he still calls him a wizard. And he's pouring the blue milk from a big glass to a small glass. What was I even talking about? Um, yeah, there's a not there's not a whole lot to talk about until we get into kind of Mos Espa, or Mos Eisley. Mos Espa is episode one, and until we get into Mos Eisley, and then there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about when we get there, because that's where a lot of my problems can come in with this movie. I really do think that again, there's been a few changes so far. Some of them are pretty small, like Aunt Beru says "tell your uncle" instead of just "tell uncle," which I think is a fine change. I think it doesn't really matter. C3PO, when the Sandcrawler stops, he says, we stopped. That, I'm pretty sure, is an added thing that wasn't in the theatrical. But who cares? It's such a small line. I don't really care that much about it. Now, when we get to Mos Eisley, I'll have stuff to say. Man, he's so dramatic. I have no idea how much they planned out Darth Vader being Luke's father. I know they were going to do something with Luke's father because that line is pretty ominous. I just don't know what George's plan was exactly. That's such a good shot. This whole sequence is just great. Those binoculars, also pretty stellar. Dude has spun in a complete circle by now. He's just sitting there spinning. He turns all of the power off at night. That's crazy. It's nuts how early on all of these characters have a fully fleshed out personality. Like, it's so early in the movie for me to know exactly who R2D2, C3PO, and Luke Skywalker are. Like, completely who they are. Hey, that's the first time that hell has been canonized in Star Wars. I always thought that was more recent. But no, in the first movie, well, what do you know? I love the banthas. The banthas are really good. The big horns. They look like they smell awful. And their fur looks so gross. Just throwing a little tantrum. Oh, here he comes. I actually forget which version of the yell is in the Maclunkey cut. Oh, the rocks. The rocks are new too. I think that's actually kind of lame. Because it's like, how did he get in there? You know, the hole is not that big, see? How did he fit in there? I guess he wasn't really hiding before, but I don't know. Okay, it's that version of the yell. I've heard all of the yells, and they're all different and weird, so I can never remember which one is in the current cut. That's a good yell. The echo is weird. I don't know how he does that with his voice, but Hello there! I forgot that that's his first line. I forgot that's his first line. And it's. I cannot believe that I forgot. He enters the movie with hello there. Crazy that hello there became a meme, by the way. I mean, it makes sense, but with this new context that I completely forgot about, it's wild that the hello there meme is a thing. And it was like referenced in the Obi-Wan show. I didn't watch that whole show. I only watched like half of it, but like still. Obi-Wan. Yeah, since you changed your name to Ben. Of course I know. He's me. I love that that line became a meme. I use that all the time. Since about the time you were born. Oh man. How did they reattach all those wires? That's a lot of wires, man. He's got the dent in his head like the Iron Giant. Look at Obi-Wan's face. He's had it with this droid. I know that he remembers C-3PO too. Like, oh, that wipe face, that transition was so good. I love that the Clone Wars are mentioned this early. That's something I always think about. The Clone Wars. No, he didn't. That's great. I wish I could do that. I love the way that the lightsaber looks in this movie. I love the paler kind of blue. Do you think at the time they knew that Darth was a title, like an honorific? Or do you think that at the time they just thought his name was going to be Darth Vader? Like that was his name. It's weird to think about. I mean, I know that obviously this conversation still works in context with Darth being his title, but still, it's interesting to think about. It's really crazy because it's like I have no idea what George was intending when he made this. All these little things, it's impossible to know because it's like, well, maybe he doesn't even remember it, right? You know, it's been so long. I love that this obviously means that Bail Organa was telling Leia stories of his good buddy Obi-Wan from the war days, his old war buddy Obi-Wan. Yeah, he must. Yeah, it's the pesky aunt and uncle. If only something would happen to his aunt and uncle, or maybe they would let him. Maybe they would let him leave. Too bad. Too bad. It can't happen. Do you think they put? I don't know where mic technology was in 1977, just off the top of my head. So I don't know if they were just using studio mics or if Luke has a mic pack on him. But if he does have a mic pack on him, that little black box on his utility belt, perfect place to put it. Oh, I love this scene. I love that the mustache guy was retconned to be the guy from Clone Wars. That's always something I loved. I always thought that was great because of course he would go on to be in the Imperial Council. It's Tarkin. I wonder who was supposed to be in these empty chairs. There's probably some EU explanation for it. Legends, I guess it's called now. This is crazy. This dialogue is like, if I was reading the script, I'd be like, George, the dialogue. But honestly, it doesn't take me out of the movie too much when I'm watching it. It's so crazy. It's so weird. This movie should not be as good as it is. Oof. That's crazy that this is the first time in the whole series that we see someone use the Force and it's to choke a guy. And I like that that's kind of a little silly pun. Because it's faith, like, because he just called the Force a religion. It's like, faith. I'm not going to sit here and explain the pun to you. But it's a pun, and it's funny, and it's silly. And I like that Darth Vader can be silly. You will crush the rebellion. Uh oh. What's this? What's happened? The Jawas! Oh no! Mm hmm. Yeah, they do. These are Imperial stormtroopers. Uh. That's not good. They're not trying to slaughter Jawas. Don't chase him or anything. R2's got his back to the camera. He does not care. Something happened to his aunt and uncle. Now he doesn't have to stay anymore. This just got personal. That's a lot of black smoke. That's not good, Luke. Skeletons. They got turned into skeletons. That is the best way for a movie character to die, is to be turned into a skeleton. I am a huge fan of when characters turn into skeletons. That is such a good music. That's such a good cue. I love the music in this movie. I love these guys' helmets. They look so goofy. Why do they put them in those helmets? They cut away because they can't fit through the door. There's huge wide helmets, goofy helmets. Ugh, the torture scene. I hate the probe droid. That thing is so awful. What are they going to put in her with that syringe? Oh, that's good. I like that. I like that camera shot. Camera shot? Man, I'm going nuts over here. I'm losing my mind already, and I'm only one Star Wars movie in. Camera shot. What a dork. Why is he carrying a Jawa? Oh, they're burning them. I wasn't even looking. I love his hood and robe. Oh, okay, we're going to Mos Eisley now. I love this shot too. I love that they got out of their land speeder to just take it all in. Here we go. This is the CGI shot that I don't like. I don't like the little womp rats. I don't like this robot or those other robots. I don't like the way the camera flies through the shot. I feel it's just so out of place with the rest of the movie. And I don't like this overhead freaking look at Mos Eisley. And I hate this thing. Why is it here? And Jawa's flying around. That's kind of funny, I guess. It just feels so out of place. Oh, and I don't like that low res texture. That texture has got to be updated. Why did they even put it there? Is it confirmed that that's Commander Cody, or is that just a fan theory? I like the fan theory, but is it canon? I don't know. If you're still watching an hour into this commentary, I guess it's only 45 minutes. If you're still watching and you know the truth as to whether or not that's Commander Cody, let me know in the comments. What's with the freaking... Why are there so many of these giraffe dewback things? George just could not stop putting dewback giraffes in his movies. The weak-minded. I love that this place is just an awful... I mean, as Obi-Wan puts it, a hive of scum and villainy. And the music that they listen to in this awful club... And there's another CGI dewback. Anyway, the music that they listen to in this awful club is this. Look at the wolf man. What's that guy? What's he got on his face there? What are these guys? Oh, this is so crazy. It's a lizard dude. I missed I missed the devil. There used to be a devil. I miss that he's no longer in the movie. He was my favorite one. Oh, there he is. I thought they cut the devil. I thought they cut the... Why did I think they cut the devil? Who did they cut? I know they cut somebody. They cut someone. I don't remember who they cut. Was it a close up on the Wolfman or what was it? I thought they cut the devil out. I don't know. The devil is cool. I'm glad he's in this movie. I'm so ready for someone to take that out of context where I said the devil is cool and I'm glad he's in this movie. Hey, it's Greedo. That guy is gross looking. Both of them are pretty gross looking. Cantina Band. Kind of a banger. What's his name? What's his name? Something Dan, I think. Ah, there he is. Best character. Who's that guy? That guy's scary looking. The skull guy? Sunken eyes? I'm looking up the name. Figrin Dan and the modal nodes. Wow, that guy is having a bad day. Yeah, there it is. Why was his arm hollow? Ugh. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm totally gonna sneeze on this commentary. I'm so sorry, guys. Maybe not. I just had a sneeze come in to my nose and it did not exit. It just, the feeling went away. That was awful. I hated it. What's with all the CGI dewbacks? Why do you keep putting those things in? I love these instruments that they're playing. Like, it's him, guys. It's him. It's him. It's him. Fast chip. He's so good. I always forget how good Han Solo is in this movie. And the way Chewbacca is like looking at him. 10,000. I assume that's a lot of credits. I wonder what the exchange rate. Yeah, it's a good deal. I don't know. I'm gonna assume that credits is a lot like U.S. dollars. I'm just gonna assume credits are basically U.S. dollars. But for 1977, 10,000 seems like a little more outrageous than. I guess Luke made it seem pretty outrageous. Oop, here's Greedo. Should have paid him when you had the chance, man. The Han shot first scene. I'm not even gonna get into the Han shot first scene. This is one of the only changes that I think is really just egregiously bad. It just ruins his characterization. I think at this point, because they shoot at the same time in the Maclunkey cut. So what is the point? But is Maclunkey like a threat? Like, I'm gonna shoot you, Han Solo? Is that what Maclunkey means? I'm gonna be quiet so that we can all hear him say Maclunkey together. So, here it comes. I missed the close up of the Greedo dummy too. It was a good close up. I think it's more effective if Han just shoots Greedo. I really do think. I know it's been said 1,000 times, and I'm gonna keep saying it because this is true. It's more effective if Han just shoots Greedo. Ooh. Why was that like a porta potty door? That was the first thing I thought of when that door closed. It looked like a plastic porta potty door. I'll give him that. He's nothing if not thorough. Dude, it's that droid from the Jawa tank, from the Sandcrawler. It's that weird looking droid with the weird face. Oh, and here's Imperial Spy. And that's, I assume, a different Greedo. Just someone who is not Greedo but looks like Greedo. Also, please forget that I did that awful impression of the spy. And the Jabba scene. Why did they put the Jabba scene back in? Why did they put the Jabba scene back in? Also, I'm going to assume neither of those are Greedo. Every member of his species just wears the same vest and pants. And there's a lot of them here. Han Mabugi. And Boba Fett is there. I don't like that Boba Fett is there. I don't think they should meet Boba Fett so early. I think this scene is useless. I think it kills the pacing, or at least harms it a lot. I think the CGI is dated. If they're going to commit to having this in here, at least make the CGI a little better. I mean, it was good when it was, new. How many years ago was that now? Was this a 2011 edition? Was it updated in 2015? I don't know. And I hate that the way that he just moves up like that. The way that he just moves up. I don't know. I don't like this scene. I don't think Jabba should be in this movie. I think this scene is just not good. I think it doesn't need to be there. Because a lot of this is stuff that we already get from the Greedo scene. There's really nothing new in this scene that we don't already figure out from the Greedo scene. And I think it's weird that it's here. And I don't like that Boba Fett looks directly at the camera. Why? He's just looking at the camera like, yeah, it's me. I'm here. Deal with it. Or whatever Rhodey says in Iron Man 2. He basically did that, but directly at the camera. The Imperial Spy's voice. Top-notch stuff. I love everyone's reaction to uh, the Falcon. Everyone in this entire franchise, when they see it for the first time, is like, "This is an awful spaceship." It's like when people see my car, my gross uh, minivan that's old and bad. It's like when people see that is what they do when they see the Millennium Falcon. So I guess in a way, I'm kind of driving the Millennium Falcon everywhere. So you know what? I've come back around. Minivan, no longer gross, no longer crusty, no longer bad. Quite good, actually. Is he wearing a giant seatbelt? I love that. I don't love that shot. And I don't. I guess I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. It's crazy. Chewbacca looks like matted in this movie. He looks yucky. That is so bright on my laptop screen that I actually just like blinked. Like I had to like close my eyes. I love that explanation in there. And one thing that, and I'm gonna get ahead of myself here, people are like getting mad at The Last Jedi because it's like, well, that's not how hyperspeed works. Well, it is. Han just said in the very first Star Wars movie that that is how hyperspeed works. You could definitely destroy yourself and everything around you by doing the math wrong. But I'm not going to talk about Last Jedi anymore in this video. I have thoughts about Last Jedi. We're not going to talk about Last Jedi in this video. This commentary is for episode 4. I love that her persona is kind of starting to slip. She's starting to get more irritated. The way that the audio changed when he walked away leads me to believe that he does not have a lav mic on. Which I guess makes sense. I don't think they were using lav mics until like the 80s, at least not widespread like they do today, or like hidden, on person mics, I guess. They probably just had a couple on set mics, like a boom or something. Dantooine. I love that he's like, dude, tell us. We won't blow up your planet if you tell us. Cool, thanks. Actually, I don't like that planet, so let's just blow yours up anyway. I love all of the stuff that goes into using this cannon. And those guys are just standing there. How do they even get off that ledge? And there goes Alderaan. So much is happening in this image. Like, there's a lot to take in here. The chest, the lightsaber. Oh, hey. Oh, I love the stop motion here. I always love stop motion. I love these little monster guys. Do you think in universe these monsters are real monsters? Or do you think these are like fictional monsters? Like how we might play a game with like ogres and dragons and trolls and goblins, like that kind of stuff. Do you think these are like fantasy creatures within the realm of Star Wars? Like what they would call like a goblin? C-3PO is so much more funny than I remember him being. That droid, that little circle training droid is kind of ugly, actually. Ah, what a loser. Got shot in the leg. Yeah. The look on Obi-Wan's face. Ugh. It's crazy that Han Solo was alive at the same time the Jedi were around. I guess he just was a kid and wasn't paying attention, but it's like it's amazing how the Empire just like immediately wiped out all knowledge of the Jedi, or like they don't allow people to talk about it. I think for like I think for a government like the Empire, this kind of like fascist dictatorship, I think it makes complete sense that they have just banned all talking of the Jedi. Future generations are not allowed to know about the Jedi. Because it's like the one thing that could bring them down is if the Jedi come back. That's why that was their first priority, is now that the Emperor's in charge, kill all the Jedi. Here it comes. These guys are way in over their heads. I don't know why I'm explaining it. You have all seen Star Wars. If you have not watched this movie and you are watching it for the first time with this commentary track, I think, and I don't like to say this, you are watching it wrong. I love, oh my gosh, those are just office chairs. Those are just real, like really, like office chairs. I mean, yeah, of course they are, right? But it's so cool that they don't even try and do anything sci-fi with it. And that means Bail Organa, unfortunately, is deceased. Unless they changed that in some future show that I haven't seen. And they said, actually, Bail Organa was not on Alderaan when it blew up. I think for all intents and purposes, Bail Organa is now dead. And I know that that's what we're worried about. Bail Organa, main character of Star Wars. No. Small moon. Oh no. Oh, there we go. It's the classic line. It's the first time he said it. The first time anyone said it. Unless I missed it earlier when I was talking about something that doesn't matter. I feel like I'm not adding enough. Like I said, I don't have a lot of opinions on this movie other than I just like it. Like, I like everything in it. I love this scene. I love every scene. I really, when I'm watching this movie, I don't want to talk about it. I want to just sit back and watch the movie. That's all I want to do. I just, I feel like I'm leaving too much empty space here where I should be talking about the movie. And instead, I'm just watching it because I enjoy it so much. I think this is a really good movie, actually. Can you imagine humans building something that big? That's so big. Like, look how big the Falcon is compared to that thing, and then keep in mind that there are, what, 6 people in the Falcon right now, if you count both of the droids as people. And they're all just in the little cockpit area. Man, the Death Star is huge. I know that kind of goes without saying. Oh, a mouse droid. It kind of goes without saying. But it's like, you take for granted exactly how big it is. They really do sell you on the sense of scale. It's crazy. Darth himself showing up to take care of these guys. They are screwed, man. Why is there a big hole in that room with no safety, like no rails? What is he looking at? That one's not a meme, but I do say that a lot. I quote this movie all the time. It's something I guess I don't ever really think about. I quote it all the time. I love Han Solo's pants with the red stripe down the side. That's fashion, baby. The technology in this is like so like clunky. It's so like retro, but also futuristic. But really, it has like this dirty, like old, kind of grimy, yucky vibe. Like I don't know. I think I got it in one. I think clunky. I love that the stormtrooper armor looks like plastic. The numbering system for stormtroopers is odd. Ooh, didn't they like change that guy getting shot? Wasn't there like blood or fire or something originally, and they got rid of it? That's another change. That's like I don't even care. I love that he's a USB drive. I guess it's not a USB drive, but you know, it's the Star Wars equivalent. How is he supposed to get all that from these like green wireframes? Of course you do, Luke. Sorry, I'm not talking. I'm sorry, man. How much of this video, like percentage wise, is me saying, sorry, I'm not saying too much. I just like watching the movie Star Wars. Luke is such a, like, little dramatic little whiny boy. Like he's got to get out of his hometown. Princess. Yeah, they really did tell Han nothing. C-3PO is gross. He needs another oil bath. They didn't. They got to give him another oil bath. Han Solo is genuinely the best performance in this movie. He is the best character. Harrison Ford is doing the best performance of this movie. I was gonna say of his career, but then I realized I have not seen him in anything other than this and Indiana Jones. Uh, and maybe another couple of things I don't remember. He probably showed up in some other thing that I was like, oh hey, it's Harrison Ford. But I don't know. Mark Hamill not giving the best performance of his career because he played the Joker. Nuts that this guy played the Joker, by the way. He really does not have the Joker voice in him at this point. He's real young. it's not something that people talk about a lot, but Anthony Daniels, the way that he does C-3PO's like mannerisms is so funny. The lean on R2D2, are you serious? That is something only he would come up with. Like that's something he came up with that day, I guarantee it. It's so funny. It's crazy just how quickly he had like a handle on this character and exactly who he was. I love the shiny black protocol droid. I love all the robots except some of the robots. Those some of them are bad. Most of the robots are pretty good though. The eyes are really far apart now that I really examine it. This has got to be hard to see. I love the set design for the Death Star. I know I said it on Tantive 4. I think I said it, but the set design, the practical set design for this movie, really on another level. I mean, it's crazy. And of course, there's a lot of matte paintings. Really good matte paintings too. The physical comedy of them just walking into the room is so funny. Oh, they're just going for it. They are really committed to this bit. Some of these guys are going to die thinking that those were real stormtroopers. Most of them are not. I think they all have figured it out by now. But some of those first guys to go down honestly might have died thinking it. Final thoughts? Hey, wait a second. I don't think that guy's a stormtrooper. I said earlier that the best way for people to die in a movie is to get turned into skeletons. The best way for them to get hurt is to fall downstairs. I think that's funny every time. Oh, this is the best scene in the movie. reactor leak. It's such a good, such a funny scene. Harrison Ford is so funny in that scene. He really does. He really is the best character in this movie. I love that she her facade is fully dropped at this point. Alderaan was the last straw. She has fully dropped her little her diplomat act. Did they meet up in Kenobi? Again, I never finished that show, but did they? Is that canon now that they met once between episode 3 and 4? I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of what I did watch of Kenobi, but this isn't a Kenobi video. It was a this is a Star Wars, A New Hope, guys. I want you to know it's 10:30. I am certainly the last one awake in my house. I wouldn't know because I'm in my bedroom right now, and maybe because I'm in my bedroom is part of the reason that I am really tired right now. That and it's been a long day. I got up early, and I have to get up early tomorrow, and I really should not be doing this at this time of night. But here I am anyway. So put it in just to put you in my kind of mindset. It's 10:30. I'm very tired. I think I'm the only one left awake, and here I am watching Star Wars, talking to a computer. I love the little tapping sound of the stormtroopers' knuckles on the door. Tip 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 tip. Leia, also a very good character. I mean, every one of these characters is so good. It's crazy. It's crazy that they're all so good. Oh, I love his dive. Why does he dive in the hole? He also dives. This scene is just fun. I've heard arguments this scene doesn't need to be in the movie, and I guess like technically speaking, it doesn't need to be here, but it's fun. I wouldn't get rid of it. It's fun. I love her line reading of that line. I just love the reading on that one. How did this thing get in the trash compactor? Like, how did this thing get in? Did the Empire find it and throw it away? Does it just live in trash? Like, I, how did it get here? And what is it called? I used to know what it's called, but I don't remember. Ugh, it's so gross. How did it pull him down so far? How is this thing so deep? Why is there so much water in the trash compactor? Were they throwing away water? gross. That thing is so gross. The escalation in this scene too is great because immediately after he gets like attacked by the freaking eyeball monster, and then the room starts closing in. Like it's such a well constructed scene, but also why is there so much water and also an eyeball octopus creature in the trash compactor on the Death Star? I forgot they say it twice in here. I got a bad feeling about this. He's trying to push it. Yeah, like that's gonna work, Chewie. I think the poll idea is maybe the best idea, but also I don't think it'll act. Like I think there's no world in which it works. You know. Oh, I love that. That's another change is they added the little bonk sound effect to that guy. I just think that's so funny. I just think that's great that they added that. I think that's probably one of the best changes they added. Why didn't they just open the door all the way? The, the physical comedy is so good. She's still trying to push it. Chewie! Oh, yeah, see, it's bending. Oh, that thing is not made of metal. Just taking their sweet time, these two. Man, every character in this is so fun. It's so fun. Like, I wish I had the opportunity to see this in a theater. It has not screened any time that I can remember, as long as I've been alive. I just feel like this should be just a great time in the theater because all the characters have just so much charisma. The actors are just doing great stuff with each other. You know, this is the peak of the movie. Here is this kind of Death Star sequence. All of the characters are all the actors are bringing their A game. They're all on their best behavior, I guess. R2 has to do a little puzzle to stop it. This is such a funny bit. I love the bit where they're dying. It's incredible. I also can't stop thinking about. I just watched The Iron Giant a couple days ago, and I can't stop thinking about like the dent in C-3PO's head, like the dent in the Iron Giant's head. But that's just a me thing. Typically, I don't think I would think of that while watching Star Wars, but I just watched The Iron Giant. This scene is interesting because why would the Empire put the reactor controls here? Like, you step wrong. Like, I'm gonna go fix the reactor. Oh, well, don't fall in the bottomless pit. Huh, I'll do my best. Yeah, Craig fell in the bottomless pit. He was doing reactor repair. They changed it from English to Arabic, which I think makes sense, but I think it's not. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I don't have strong feelings about that change, really. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. All these actors are they're so good because Carrie Fisher is so good at reading these lines in like the best possible way because it's like commanding but also kind of funny, and Luke is like the way that he looks away is just it's just gold. It's just gold. Like just so precarious. And I'm not gonna count it against the movie because like there are so many weirder things in this scene alone than the bottomless pit. But also, it is a little weird that there's a bottomless pit in the Death Star. I did remark earlier on how big it is. So like if this is at the top of the Death Star and the pit goes to the bottom, that's an impossibly huge pit. That would be pretty much bottomless, at least to the human eye. Oh, this scene's great. I think the added stormtroopers adds to that moment comedically. I think it does add. I think that is a change that does not take away. I think that's a good change. Most of my thoughts on this movie come with the changes because I think some of them are truly awful, but I think some of them are, they're okay. I think some of them are fine, and I think that stormtrooper change is definitely fine. I remember vividly watching the MythBusters episode where they like try and do the grappling hook by hand like Luke does here, and it was so hard that they just came to the like they could barely do it if I remember right. I used to watch a lot of MythBusters back in the day, but anyway, I remember they basically concluded that this is highly unlikely that Luke gets this on his first try, and then they bring up like, well, I guess he could have been using the Force, and it immediately clicked in my head like, well, yeah, of course he's using the Force, guys. Like, come on. That's like trying to do Captain America's shield. He brings that thing back with magic. Was that the same shot 3 times? That looked like the same shot 3 times. I wasn't watching very closely. I was doing my anecdote about Captain America, but that one wasn't the same. I think that one was different. With context, kind of gross. Actually, pretty gross. I don't know. They just walked right past him. What's with the gumball machine droid back there? Look at that guy. This is another change that I think is fun. That I think is very good. The open the blast doors. I think that's such a funny. I think it's really funny. I think it's a good bit. Some of these are just good bits that they added in. Oh, here we go. Some excellent Obi-Wan Kenobi moments in this fight. This is where old Ben gets to shine. Is in this fight. He is the master now. I love that he calls him Darth. It's just the style, I guess, on this man. He's just so bold. He didn't have to call him Darth. He could have called him Little Annie. I think Darth is just such a cool thing. I think calling him Darth is amazing. This is a good lightsaber fight, too. This is the first one. Oh, oh. They're so stiff, and I think it's great. It's like they're old, old people fighting. I think it's great. Oh, oh, nope. I love that move. I love that move, and I love the look in Ben's eyes. Ben is like so kooky. He's like a kooky old man. I think that's fun. I think they should. I think he gets misremembered, as someone who's overly serious, but he's having fun. Oh. I remember this level in Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. You will hear me referencing Lego Star Wars all the time in this series, these commentary tracks. Here we go. I always thought this was confusing as a kid because he just turns into a cloak. But I guess I get it now. He's supposed to be like one with the Force. Like he just became one with the Force right away. Darth didn't even get the satisfaction of killing him. He's like, where did he go? He's out for blood. He's immediately able to. I guess he's one with the Force. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. They're reversing. I always forget that they reverse in that shot. Because I never even considered that they can go in reverse in the spaceship. How would they go reverse? Because the only thrusters are on the back. I don't know. I'm not gonna think about it too hard. It's been a pretty rough week for Luke. Oh yes, thank you. Give him the blanket. Is he wearing like driving gloves? I've never noticed that before. He's wearing gloves. Sorry if my mouth is making weird noises. I can't honestly hear myself very well with these headphones on, so I'm just hoping there's not a lot of weird mouth sounds for you guys to hear. I love the guns on the ship. I love how they're mounted. I love how they're controlled. I think it looks like a lot of fun to use the guns on the Millennium Falcon. Kind of a design flaw that someone has to still be in like the driver's seat. Like they have to have four people in order for every role to be filled. These space fights are they've seriously aged well. And I know that they've done a bunch of CGI. I don't know exactly what is and isn't replaced, but I know that at least in the trench run they replaced a bunch of the X-wings with CGI. But honestly, if you go online, you can find like the original, or you can find like videos of the original on YouTube, and it honestly holds up. I always thought it was funny that the good guys' lasers were red and the bad guys' lasers were green, but the good guy lightsabers are green and the bad guy lightsabers are red. I get there's lore reasons for it, but I don't know. I am really tired right now. I'm like closing my eyes, man. You're getting me on a bad day doing a Star Wars commentary. Nobody's gonna watch this video, especially not all the way through. What are we at now? We're at an hour 35 into the movie. Nobody's watching this far. If you're watching this far, a comment down below. Write a comment that says whatever the next line is. What's the next line? Okay, so if you're still watching right now, leave a comment that says, "That's it, we did it." Leave that comment. Just, "That's it, we did it." Don't put any context. I will know if they haven't watched that far. Other commenters, they won't know. And that means that they're not part of our cool little club. That's right. Welcome to the "You have just watched 90 minutes of Star Wars and listened to me talk over it" club. We'll come up with a better name. But that's it for now. Welcome to the club. I, uh, easy. This, I was gonna make a point. I don't remember it. We're reaching that level of I need to go to sleep, and my bed is right there. I'm sitting at a table in my room right now, and if I look straight ahead, I'm watching Star Wars, and if I turn my head 90 degrees to the right, I see my bed, and I think I want to sleep in that. I want to go to sleep now. And like now I'm looking at my bed right now, and my eyes are getting heavy. I'm getting really tired, and I don't know. It's 10:40, 10:42 right now on a Monday. And I really should be doing something else and not this. But it's a good movie. It's a good movie. And you're in the club now, so you've probably also got something better to do. Let's be honest. If you're in the club, you've got something better to do. But you're doing this instead. And I thank you for that, because it means that my time has not been wasted. Uh, at least it could be argued that the time has not been wasted. If we get plenty of people in the club, the 90-minute club, then I guess that means that I can justify spending all this time making a Star Wars commentary track. I am probably going to listen back to this and think, wow, this is awful. I'm probably going to think that. Maybe if I put on my glasses. I've had my glasses off pretty much this whole time. Maybe if I put my glasses on, that'll make things a little better. Oh, I love these old monitors. I love that even in the sci-fi kind of high fantasy world of Star Wars, they have these like segmented displays, these like awful screens. I love that Watchtower guy. He must get so bored. He must get really bored. The Death Star plans with like the one tiny exhaust port. Some people have called that a convenience. Some people, and these would be mistaken people, have called it a plot hole. That there's a tiny hole in the Death Star, an exhaust port in the Death Star. And I know that they explain it in Rogue One as an intentional design flaw so they can blow it up. But I think even without that retcon, I honestly don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think it's far fetched that there is an exhaust port on the Death Star. I mean, that thing's got to burn fuel somehow. It doesn't just float on its own in space. Like, space stations require fuel, and thus it makes sense that it has an exhaust port. Like, uh, first of all, it's not a plot hole by any definition. I don't think this is a plot hole. Second of all, I don't even think it's really that big of a problem with the script. I think there are problems with the script, mostly the dialogue, and I think that it doesn't even matter. I think the dialogue, uh, it's charming. It's like I said earlier. I think it's fine. I love these wipe transitions, and because I love how George does it when like someone else is moving. Like the one with C-3PO standing up earlier. That one's just now with the rebel pilot walking across the frame. Is this the big scene? Or is the big scene next? Oh no, this is not the big scene. I just yawned. I think that's even more proof that I need to go to sleep. I just yawned. That's Star Wars. Not to mention my throat is getting sore from doing all this talking. Maybe this was a bad idea. Hey, I'm just now thinking that maybe this was a bad idea. I don't even have that many thoughts on the first Star Wars movie. Han Solo is a great character. If I didn't know this movie or this character, I might genuinely believe he's going away. But he chooses to come back, and I think that's great. What I also think is great is Leia is still wearing that white dress that she was in when she went into the swamp trash compactor. Like, they didn't get her a different dress or anything. Just the same one. Han didn't change his clothes either, if I'm not mistaken. It was only Luke that got to change his clothes. Stop kissing him. He's your brother. I know they don't know that yet, but still. There he is. There's Biggs. I think that the big scene is a good addition. I'm generally not for putting deleted scenes back in movies. I think generally speaking they're deleted for a reason. But I'm okay with the big scene. You know, the pacing could have been tighter. You know, it could have maybe flowed a little better without it. You know, it's definitely not required. But I think it's a good scene. I think it adds a nice character moment for Luke and Biggs. And then when Biggs gets blown up later, you know, it means something more. Because in the original cut, it's just like, well, some guy just got blown up. Who cares, you know? But Luke really reacts to it. So I guess that scene only really works with the big scene. But it's such a small scene later on. It's basically two shots that I don't think the big scene is super consequential. But I'm not going to argue against its inclusion here. I think it's a good scene. The Y wing. I always thought the Y wings were like kind of impractical. Like, they're so big and the engines are in the back. And it's like, how would you maneuver that thing, you know? The X-Wing, I feel like it would also be a little back heavy. I feel like the X-Wing would be a lot back heavy. I think that's something you'd have to get used to when you're maneuvering it. But I don't know. Pilots fly planes from the front, and there's all of that stuff in the back, like in real life, like passenger planes. I don't know. I have no idea how flying works, how piloting works. I do not pilot. I'm not a pilot. I don't want to be a pilot, man. That sounds stressful. Driving a car is stressful enough. I can't imagine doing it in the sky. What is this display even supposed to mean? How can they read that? That's goofy. Did they replace these with CGI? It kind of looks like they did. I Red 6. Whoa, was that black R2D2? They didn't change him to blue? I thought they changed him to blue for special edition. Maybe that's just in the other ones. Well, that's cool. That's cool. At least we've got that original thing in there. Disney, George, none of them touched that one. I love the idea, and I don't know where this was confirmed, but I feel like I read this somewhere, that the Maclunkey cut was completed years ago, and they just were holding on to it, like they didn't release it until Disney Plus came out. Which means George was just sitting on Maclunkey for years. He was watching people argue about the Han shot first scene, and he was like, well, what they don't understand is that my vision involves Greedo saying Maclunkey. I think at that point it's a perfect film, you know. If we add in Greedo saying the word Maclunkey, but the public doesn't know that yet. We haven't been able to release the Maclunkey cut. That's my George Lucas impression. I am so tired. This trench run. So I don't know if you guys remember the Game of Life. The version I had as a kid, and no version that I've been able to find since then has had this. The version I had as a kid had these like white buildings that were like kind of flat and low detail that you would use on the map. And it looks pretty much exactly like the surface of the Death Star during the trench run. Like there's weird Game of Life, like white buildings. They were just these little plastic molded things. Porkins. Everybody loves Porkins. He can hold it. I love that Porkins is such a fan favorite character. When I was a kid, even when I was not on the internet, I also was a big Porkins fan. I always liked Porkins. Something about him just kind of jumps out at you, you know? Maybe it's that line, that classic line. I can hold it. I can hold it. Yo! Oh! I love that the TIE fighters spin around like that. But can you imagine how dizzy the pilots of these things have got to get? Do you ever like? Are you? Let me know if you've ever been in this situation before. All right, you're going about your day. You're watching a movie that you really love, and it's pretty late at night. You know, you've had a long day. You got up early. You did a lot in the morning and the afternoon. You come home and then you're watching a movie that you enjoy quite a bit. For me, it's Star Wars. For you, it could be anything. You know. And when you're watching the movie, about halfway through, you realize, I'm kind of tired. And then by the time you get to where we are, an hour and 48 minutes in, you're so tired you can barely keep your eyes open. And it's just like it came at you so quick, you know? You just like heavy head, heavy eyes. So tired. But I'm going to finish this movie, dang it. I'm going to finish this movie if it kills me. And it will kill me. Watching a Star Wars movie all the way, in its entirety to completion, will kill me. It will cause me to die. So this will be my last video. Gold later. I just feel like I should say something, but I'm not saying anything right now. Ugh. Stretching my legs. I've been sitting down for a while. Like all day. Whoa, sorry, I did not even. I zoned out there for a second. I love the trench run. I think it's so fun. I think it's great. I keep calling things in this movie fun. And I know that that might sound kind of backhanded or like I'm talking down to the movie. But I think for a big adventure movie like this, the best thing you can be is fun. Like, I want to have a good time when I'm watching the movie, you know? Have you guys seen the new Dungeons and Dragons movie? Perfect example. It's just so much fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to be in the theater when you're watching it. It's fun to be around those characters. I think this movie has so many characters that are just like absolutely my favorite characters. Like, just in this movie alone, like Han, Leia, R2D2, C3PO, Darth Vader, old Ben Kenobi. I mean, and Luke Skywalker, but he is a lot better in the other movies than he is in this movie. But all of those characters are like such good character. Like, they're so charming. They're so charismatic. They're great. They're perfect leads for this movie. They're exactly what this movie needs. Why does he sound like that? That guy looks like an old version of Mr. Psychowitz from Victorious. General Dodonna, is that his name? He looks like old Psychowitz. Why did the comms do that to their voice? Was that CGI ships again? I feel like you can tell. I don't know, like, that one wasn't. Some of the times they change, like, they change the ships from little models to CGI. A lot of the time it's the old models. But I think a couple of these shots they changed to CGI. And it's hard to tell sometimes. Not that one. That one was very clearly an old shot. With, like, the model. I'm yawning again. I just yawned again. You know what's the worst part about this is I can't just like turn off the recording and go into my bed because I've got to go downstairs and brush my teeth and put on my retainer and take my laptop downstairs. Probably shouldn't leave it in my room on this table with a cloth tablecloth on it. Of course, the tablecloth is made of cloth. You idiot. Ugh. It does run kind of hot when it's plugged in and doing something. I guess overnight it wouldn't run hot. I don't know. I'll probably still take it downstairs. I gotta use it tomorrow. What's the date today? Okay. I just realized something, but I have a couple more days to take care of it, so I'll be fine. Yeah! Uh-oh. Is this just me, or did there used to be music in the trench run? Did they remove some of the music? I feel like there should be music here. I don't know. John Williams is like one of the leads in this movie. In all of the movies, really. I love I love the score. I seriously listened to the score for this movie. And for literally all 9 of the Star Wars movies. Like no matter or all 11 even. No matter how I feel about the movies, the score is always great, especially the John Williams ones. He did the main 9. I think Michael Giacchino did Rogue One. I honestly can't remember who did Solo, but I don't know. I'll probably talk about that on the Solo commentary. Yeah, it's definitely black painted R2. That's not a blue R2. I thought they were gonna color correct that, but I guess not. Yeah, Wedge, get clear. Oh, that dude, you can see his eyes under the helmet. I've never noticed that before. That you can see Vader's eyes under the little goggles in his helmet. Is that intentional? Wait, cut back to Vader. I want to see that again. You can't see it in that shot. I wish I could rewind, but I can't because it's a commentary. Oh, there goes Biggs. This is a third yawn. This is a third yawn. I'm getting too tired for this. Just you, Luke. I love that he's just muttering that to himself. I should talk through this, but I don't know. I feel like it's such an important moment, not just in this movie or just in this franchise, but like kind of for all of cinema. This is kind of like a turning point. Star Wars is a very important movie. It's weird how important this movie is to like cinema and history as a whole. It's weird to think that Star Wars is this revolutionary '70s film. Because if you look at the other movies that were coming out around this time, nothing like this. Yeah, there he is. I think about the way he says Yahoo every day of my life. Boom. The rings were also added in the special edition. I don't know if they were added for Alderaan also, if they were just added for the Dark, or for the Death Star. Um, Maybe it's the other way around. But no, I'm pretty sure they added it for the Death Star. Yeah, look, you can see his eyes. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the ring one either. I feel like it doesn't bother me very much, but I don't know if it looks better or worse. I mean, it looks bigger, so maybe that's better. I don't know. Was there? Did I imagine this, or does he say Carrie in that scene? I was talking over it, but I feel like I remember something where instead of saying Leia, Mark Hamill just blurts out Carrie, like Carrie Fisher. I don't know if that's something I made up or maybe they fixed it. I didn't hear it this time because I was talking, but I feel like I remember that being something that I heard about this movie. And here's John Williams going way harder than he has to. That's a different shirt for Han, I think. That yellow jacket is fashion. Did I make that exact joke about Han's blue and red pants earlier? I don't know. The point is, it's very good costume design. And yeah, everyone said it. Everyone has said it before. But it is completely bogus, completely nuts that Chewie does not get a medal. Look at him standing there. He deserves a medal. Why doesn't he get one? I mean, really. Oh, they cleaned him up. They gave him an oil bath, I assume. But really, Chewie should get a medal. Just, it's weird that he doesn't get one. And like I said, I know that's been a fan kind of complaint, kind of nitpick forever. But I mean, it really is weird. I mean, I'm not. It doesn't matter that much, really. That's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter. It's just a weird thing about the movie. And this is the final shot, right? Well, it's one of the final shots. Look at that guy's mustache. Written and directed by George Lucas. It's a good movie. It's a good movie, guys. That's you see, that's a Star Wars movie that only gets me angry when I start to really think about the fact that you cannot watch the original version legally. That's the part that Peter Cushing gets billed that high. Are you serious? And Alec Guinness? Billing on this is weird. Hold on. With Anthony Daniels, Kenny Baker, Peter Mayhew, David Pratt. Wow. honestly not the billing I was expecting. Uh, at all. Music by John Williams. Yeah, he's my guy. Sorry, I just clicked the screen in the wrong way, so now there's like probably a 1 second delay. So I don't even know how noticeable it is, but Disney Plus took me to a little small screen, like picture in picture mode. Oops, I just hit my laptop. It took me to the picture in picture mode, and I didn't want that. I wanted to watch the credits. It was like, hey, you should watch Andor, and I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I know it's good. Don't yell at me in the comments if it's good. I know it's good. I just haven't watched it yet. Hey, all of you who are here from the 90-minute club, thanks for sticking around. But here's the thing: is I know people made it to the 90-minute club, and they were like, oh well, I'm in the club now. I don't even have to. I don't even have to keep watching. So those people are not going to know about this new secret club, the Credits Club. And you only get this one if you watch. You only get to enter the Credits Club if you watch this whole thing, like all the credits and everything, while listening to me talk over it. So if you're here, welcome to the Credits Club. I know the credits aren't over yet, but it's close enough that I'm willing to let you join the club. So welcome to the Credits Club. We're the elite secret society of people who have watched Star Wars movies all the way to the end credits, while I talk over it. And I'm the I don't know, you I guess. Oh, let's get a better look at this billing. All right, so it's Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Peter Cushing. I think is a little high. Alec Guinness, Anthony Daniels, Kenny Baker, Peter Mayhew, David Prowse, James Earl Jones, Phil Brown. Interesting. Interesting. I just feel like Peter Cushing is kind of high, you know? I guess he was probably more expensive than the rest of them. But I just feel like he's kind of high. And now I'm ready for that to be taken out of context. I just feel like he's kind of high. I meant high billing. Whatever. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, the club. Welcome to the Credits Club, everybody. If you have made it this far, how about this? This is a fun twist. Don't leave a comment. Because you already left a comment when you joined the 90 Minutes Club. And I don't want people to know. You can fake being in the 90 Minutes Club. You can see what everyone else is commenting and be like, I need to comment that. But here's the thing. You can't fake being in the Credits Club, all right? This Credits Club, this is elite, all right? The only way that you can be in the club is to watch this whole thing, all right? And listen to this whole thing. So I think for that, it's what you don't say anything, all right? You don't talk about the club. It's like Fight Club, except it's Credits Club. You don't talk about Credits Club, all right? You just know that you're part of it, and that's cool. Copyright 1997. These are the updated credits, I guess. That's great. I love that. I love that. You know what detracted from my theater experience? Watching this on a laptop while talking to a microphone. All right. Well, now it's just the international credits, which I'm just going to use as an opportunity to kind of wrap this video up. Only because they're part of the runtime on Disney Plus. So, thank you for watching this whole thing. You are part of the Credits Club if you made it this far. If you skipped ahead in the video, you didn't watch the whole thing, you are not part of the Credits Club. You do not get to be in the club. But I appreciate you joining me in this probably truly awful video. The credits have just ended, so the movie's over now. But thank you once again for being here. I will be doing this for every Star Wars movie, even if it's bad content. I don't care about what's good or what's bad, because it's garbage every day now, baby. And this is just some high quality garbage. This is just some good, pristine, gourmet trash. Yeah. So anyway, welcome to the Star Wars world. This one's probably not very interesting. Like I said, I'm very tired. I don't have a lot to say about this movie except for kind of the Mos Eisley sequence. But as the movies keep going, I have more and more to really say about them. So hopefully you stick around. This is like a pilot episode, I guess. Okay, well, I'm going to go drink some water to ale my sore throat. And then I'm going to brush my teeth and sleep in my bed for a few hours. Goodbye.